If you liked the video, please like and subscribe. It helps to the channel more than you believe, and I hope you enjoy the what if. Tanjiro was rushed to the hospital, third-degree burns all over his body. As he began to fade in and out of consciousness, the doctors began wrapping his torso and face. He lost consciousness. The second recovery girl kissed him. All the energy in his body now was converted to healing it. Tengen was outside the room. If only I was faster. Damn it, he thought to himself. Inko began to burst through the door of Izuku. Where's my boy? Where's Tanjiro? As recovery girl would walk outside. Yeah, Inko Midoriya, right? Inko began crying. Yes, Tanjiro. I'm his legal guardian. Good. Well, he's gonna be okay. It's gonna be around, into my estimation, a week before he can wake up. A week? Izuku yelled out. Remembering he was in the hospital, he quieted down. What do you mean a week? I thought you could heal him. Inko looked at Izuku. You know well enough. Your body needs energy to heal itself. And he burnt up a lot of energy. So it might be a week before he can even wake up, let alone heal his scars. But scars don't heal. They fade. I think after he wakes up, you need to have a chat with him. According to what happened with Tengen, he has some things to work through. Recovery girl began to walk away as Inko directed her anger towards Tengen. And where were you during all this? Tengen got up. Miss Midoriya, I can explain. You see, Tanjiro and I and my team were on a mission. A Nomu came out of nowhere and we had to stop it. Tanjiro was doing fine when it was revealed that the Nomu was a decoy. Then Daki from the League of Villains. Well, not Dabi from the League of Villains showed up. Tanjiro began questioning him out of anger. And eventually, Dabi burned him. By the time I realized Tanjiro was pursuing Dabi, I ran to him as fast as I could. But by the time I got there, I was too late. The most I can do is try and pursue Dabi and did you capture him? Inko cut him off. Tengen continued. It turned out to be a decoy from another member. I'm sorry. You... Then Izuku would grab his mother. Listen, I believe Tengen's a good guy. If Tanjiro wanted to work with him. Look, what it seems to me is that Tanjiro succumbed to anger and, well, he didn't know what was coming. It's nobody's fault but, well, Dabi's. Inko began to break down. Tanjiro held her. Tengen was trying to step closer to Chen because all the families Inko began yelling, telling him to leave. But Tengen stated, I'm legally not allowed to. I'm supposed to stay here until he recovers. Besides, as we began thinking of Rengoku, I have a debt to pay. A debt? Inko began crying as Izuku tried directing her to a different room. Izuku eventually walked up to Tengen. So, is he gonna be okay? Yeah, the doctor said as Izuku would cut him off. No, not physically. Tengen looked down. I don't know. I read his file, and Jesus Christ. Tengen had to sit down. I've been a hero for a long time, kid. My best friend died in battle. Your friend was Rengoku. Yeah, I'm sorry about that. Tengen continued. But this kid's life is a living hell. He reminds me of... Tengen thought to his past. How all of his brothers died from his father's hand. And thus he had to kill his father to save all of his brothers. To redeem them. He then was snapped back to the present. Never mind. The shit this kid went through, no kid should go through. That's why I became a hero. His mother, his father, and even his own sister. And according to the case file, there's gonna be a newborn soon. These League of Villains, they're not villains. They're monsters that we have to kill. Izuku stood in silence. I'm nowhere close to Tanjiro, as you probably are since you're here. Maybe you can talk to him, talk some sense. I'm not telling you to make him forget it. What I am telling you is if this happens again, I might not be able to save him next time. If I wasn't there, Dobby could have killed him. And that wasn't even the real version of him. Izuku stood in silence. I'll try, but what he really needs is someone like him. I will admit, my life is kind of bad, but from what he went through, I can't even compare. Tengen and Izuku stood in silence as they both asked themselves, who could help Tanjiro at this point? A week goes by, school goes as normal. Tanjiro in the hospital. He was dreaming. He was dreaming of him in the snow, waking up to his sister. At first he was frightened, but then his mother was right behind him, with a pregnant belly and their father right there, hugging each other. Their hugs were so warmful that the snow around them melted, and summer came, the sun rising, when all of a sudden it burst into flames. Tanjiro looked around. His family were all in flames. Odd flames. He looked around more and more as the flames vanished, and a man was walking towards him. He looked. This man had fiery hair like him, with a cold expression, a katana in one hand. Your name, boy? Tanjiro Kamado. What did you do to my family? This is a dream. Well, a bit more than that. Say, you're Tanjiro Kamado, then you're my descendant, probably. Tanjiro would look up. Are you my dad? You look like him, but something's off. You're not frail. I'm not your father, although he did serve me well. Serve you well? As the man would then state, Tanjiro, you have the Hinokami, a quirk, a specialized quirk passed down through generations. It can only be passed down through reproductive processes, but every member who has had this quirk can access this certain plane. Certain plane? What are you talking about? As then this man would kneel down. Tanjiro, I am your ancestor. I won't reveal my name at the moment, but let's just say I'm your guardian. How about that? My guardian? We had to talk about the situation with your sister. Tanjiro suddenly woke up. A week went by. He's breathing heavily. He's remembering what happened. And his body began to flex out of anger. Where is she? Where am I? Then Tengen burst through the room trying to hold Tanjiro down. Tanjiro, stop it! Enough! It was then revealed Tanjiro was beating up the doctors trying to help him. Get this boy! As Tengen began to struggle, Tanjiro was to be able to flex every muscle in his body. Tengen was eventually able to overpower him. Calm down. You're okay. You're at the hospital. Tanjiro eventually calmed down. The doctors were able to get him on IV drips. Eventually, Tanjiro remembered what happened. Shit. Tengen cut off Tanjiro. I'm sorry. I ignored everything. I knew your case file and how you felt. If I knew a League of Villains were going to be there, I wouldn't have assigned you that mission. I'm deeply, truly. Tanjiro cut him off. It's okay. Anyway, I realized it was my fault. I got too angry and, you see, of course you know, my sister joined the League of Villains and she won't give me a reason why. I need to find her. All I want is to know why. Why do it? Why hurt Mom like that? Why kill her like that. That is nothing like how father mom told us. Not even. Tanjiro got a flash. The same man he saw in his dream for a split second. He remembered. Tengen, please, for me, we have to pursue the League of Villains. I need to know. Tengen sighed. The doctor said based on your rate, you're probably not going to be able to do any more hero work for a month. But, luckily, we're on a case right now. What do you mean? MHA Saikai. You heard of them? The villain organization? Yeah, I've heard of them. Tengen then walked up before the giant case. Look, your legal guardian Inko. She already agreed for you to be able to stay in the UA dorms. Tanjiro was confused. UA dorms? Tengen replied, oh yeah, during a week of hiatus. The UA dorms were established to keep you guys safe. You already have a dorm room and all your stuff is there. Izuku has one too, right next to you just in case. Okay. Anyway, this case. I can't tell you much. This little girl. We have rumors that this guy named Overhaul is using this little girl's quirk to make quirk canceling bullets. Right now we do have a lead, but we're hitting dead ends. Look, you can't have doing any heroing for a month. But the doctors also said that your buddy can still move. You're just suggested not to do anything for a month. Tanjiro had a smile on his face. So I could still move. I mean, my body worked perfectly fine a minute ago. Tanjiro got up. I don't even feel that much. Well, that's thanks to your adrenaline. And some specialized quirk from a friend of mine. Wait, a friend of yours? Is it a friend of Rengoku's too? Let's just say, I have a group of friends that are really close. So, come on. We have to get you some new gear. Tanjiro then walked out of the hospital, checking out, going home to the UA dorms, unpacking his things, getting into regular clothes again. And although most UA students weren't actually at the dorms yet, you can already see Class 1A being here. Tanjiro walked out. So you were talking about new gear? Tengen was walking with Tanjiro and Mei Hatsume. Yeah, my babies. Well, it's only more like one baby. What do you mean one? Tengen opened the briefcase. A fox mask appeared, although it was more mechanical than the original one in the series. Tanjiro grabbed it. A fox mask? Well, you see, that Hinokami mode of yours is real damaging to your body. In order for you to figure out when to stop, we had this mask. Tanjiro put on the mask, and it auto-fit for the size of his face. So, what is this for? Tengen smiled proudly. Well, you can check your heart rate and stuff like that. It also allow you to see and move better. You see, look, you were damaged pretty bad and you lost some eyesight, as you could probably tell. That mask is supposed to help you. Tanjiro put on his hero costume and the mask and looked in the mirror. He realized how good he thought he looked. Wow, the mask really fits the suit. Tanjiro took it off and thanked Tengen. Tengen also stated, hey, about that MHA Saikai case, there's a sub-case to it too. Tanjiro was confused. A sub-case? Oh, well, it's a lead. Here's the basic gist. We have a main lead, aka the MHA Saikai, but sometimes these investigative cases can branch off a bit to other organized crime. Right now, we have another one. Apparently in, well, Tokyo. There's a drug cartel. We're pursuing it to make sure we know more about the MHA Saikai in the process. And you're coming along. We're moving out tomorrow, so get some rest today. It just so happened to be that today is when the UA kids moved into their dorms. Tanjiro is already there. Everybody began to give Tanjiro's hugs, but the burn marks still hurt, so obviously he was in agonizing pain. Tanjiro looked around the room. Hey guys! Everybody was trying to warn Tanjiro, trying to console Tanjiro about how he felt, about how everything was going down, but Tanjiro decided to keep himself distant. Eventually, Tanjiro and Mina Ashido would actually agree to train later. Later that night, they're actually at ground beta. Mina is trying to teach Tanjiro how to break dance a bit better, more specifically windmills and stuff like that again. But this time Tanjiro felt a bit different. His heart was moving a bit faster than normal. Eventually Tanjiro questioned his feelings later and realized he might like Mina, but not in any normal way. Like, in a certain way. He began blushing, but then took his mind off it. That's not important right now. What's important is tomorrow. That subcase. Tanjiro closed his eyes and had another dream. Tanjiro met that man again, as he did was teasing Tanjiro. So, this Mina girl, you like her? Tanjiro was kind of creeped out. What are you talking about? I can see and know everything you're doing, Tanjiro. Tanjiro replied, that's kind of creepy and weird. Gee, Kamado. And to reply what you just said, I can choose whether or not to look or not look. It's not like you can always see what you're doing. It's just when I find something interesting, like a love partner, then I really want to listen. Tanjiro is still creeped out. Yuri will then state, yeah, you're right. Let's talk about Hinokami Kagura. More specifically, your Hinokami mode. Tanjiro would look back and sit down. Yurichi would then state, you're the first person that I know who's ever created something unique. Of course, there were others that had their own version of this mode, but only in name, not in presentation. Tanjiro would ask what he meant. Well, he would then point at Tanjiro's scar. That scar has not only been passed to you, he would then lift some of his hair. It was on me too. A birthmark. Anyway, what I mean is, your flames, well, they're more specific towards you. Every other member had a different type or a different variant of how they control it. Some even use their blood, for instance, to create flames, like your sister. Tanjiro was then worried. Does my sister have this Hinokami Kagura? Yurichi would then reply, yeah, she does. I also talk to her too. Well, I don't talk to her. He does. Tanjiro would ask, who's he? Yurichi, my brother, Kokoshiba. Tanjiro would then begin to get bloodthirsty. Kokoshiba, aka the guy who tried to kill me? How old is he? Yurichi would then explain. Kokoshiba was blinded by greed. Quirks started to reveal themselves 120 years ago. We happen to be Generation 1. But you see, when Kokoshiba meant all for one, but, well, he got bloodthirsty. All for One gave him the ability to gain quirks. The more he fought, the people he killed, the quirk he stole. He had to kill someone to gain the quirks. And you see, well, the more quirks he got, the more of a reputation he got. Thus, he was known as the healer killer Kokoshiba. But he liked to go by a different name. Tanjiro began to sweat. This name being, as Yurichi would look up, Kokoshiba the Blood Demon. And that's where Blood Demon art comes from. It's not just a silly name, it's a branding, it's a gang. Look, as his brother, I took it upon myself to stop him. Thus, I was also gifted with a different quirk. I was gifted to be able to do this, to astral project from a different side. To meet my descendants, we need to stop the Blood Demon Art gang. Or else... As Tanjiro would stand up. Or else what? From what I heard, Kokushibo is under All for One. As Yoichi would look up. Well, what if I told you Kokushibo is a way to kill All for One? And when that happens, this world's gonna go to shit. Tanjiro looked back. You're joking. Yoichi looked up with a bit of rage in his eye. If I was joking, I wouldn't have told you it. Look, Kokushibo's dangerous. What he has over All for One is an infinite amount of power. Look, All for One might have brains, but Kokushibo's definitely brawn. He also isn't stupid either sometimes. He might not be book smart, but when it comes to a fight, he can read you like a goddamn novel. Yoichi walked up to Tanjiro. Look, you might want to meddle around with your hero work, but if you don't stop Kokushibo from gaining more power, which he most certainly will, he might kill All for One. And when he does that, stealing his quirk and the infinite amount of quirks he probably stole, how many lives do you think are going to be taken? Tanjiro began to sweat, but the sweat was cold. Yoichi backed off. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to. Look, he sat down again. I'm asking you to do this. Your father tried, but then he met his match. What do you mean? He asked. Your father's killer. Wow. Let's just say he's Kokushibo's sixth in command. As Tanjiro would ask, wait, so he also orders his gang? Yoichi would resist the urge to punch Tanjiro because it was such an obvious implication, but he continued. The Blood Demon Art gang goes by what they call moons. This guy was the sixth moon, the sixth in command. The first moon, well, let's just say their quirks are busted. Like, for real. Tanjiro would cringe at the use of Yoichi's modern language. Sorry. I pick it up after a while. Anyway, this guy was named Gitaro. His Blood Demon Art, or what he calls a quirk, poisoned blood. What's worse, he can manipulate it. It could also amplify his speed and strength. Not to mention, this blood, well, when it enters your stream, the more you use your quirk, the more it's gonna kill you. Tanjiro was sweating even colder. Yoichi looked at Tanjiro. This drug cartel thing that you're pursuing, it might just lead you to him. Tanjiro would wake up, the alarm clock sounding. I guess it's time to get to hero work. Tanjiro opened a cold sweat. He got on his hero costume and put on his mask, and he walked out with Tengen. He walked to Tengen's agency with his normal team. Tengen, Tanjiro, Zenitsu, and Inosuke. And they all went to Tokyo. Thank you for listening to part 8 of this series. For clarification, I am doing the Saikai arc, but in my own little twist. You see, I had multiple ways of how I wanted to pursue this arc, but I realized I just want to do it my own special way. There's no real need to follow the story beat for beat, so I hope you guys enjoy this sub-arc, or maybe even a full-blown arc, how I decided to take on part 9, but I hope you guys enjoy. Bye-bye.